Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on New Zealand Sports Radio. It is Friday, the 18th of December, and we have a packed show today. In the news this morning, obviously had the America's Cup with the has had some racing yesterday. For the first time, the four boats have raced against each other. We've got some updates from the cricket, including a one-day domestic competition, a player retiring, test match in Australia, and also the New Zealand versus Pakistan series. Russia was appealing against its ban from all major sports competitions, and we'll get the results of that one. The Australia Open has been delayed back to February. We had the New Zealand Rugby Awards last night. We have 4 Kiwi athletes heading over to the Winter X Games in the skiing, and also a important NBL signing. So let's kick off with that one. So the Auckland Huskies, this is your best way to start the day, up to speed with all of the important sports news. And the Auckland Huskies have signed Tom Vodanovic, who was the NBL's MVP in the NBL Showdown in 2020. So this year, the Tall Blacks basically had a double average, averaging 21.9 points and 10.4 rebounds for every game as he played for the Manawatu Jets, going all the way to the finals. So that is a cracking signing for the Auckland Huskies ahead of the 2021 season. We have, as I say, a whole stack of cricket news in the Ford Trophy. Canterbury lost to Central Districts, having set Central Districts a target of 159. They reached it. They've scored 162 for 4, beating Canterbury by 6 wickets. Northern Districts beat Otago, scoring 143 in their innings. And Otago could only reach 177 before being all bowled out, so losing that one by 66 wickets. And Wellington scored 283 in their 50 overs, giving Auckland a target of 248, which they reached in 48 overs. So 2 overs to spare, and with the loss of 5 wickets. So Auckland, Northern Districts, and Central Districts are getting wins in the Ford Trophy yesterday. Amir has the Pakistan bowler Mohammed Amir has quit international cricket over what he calls mental torture. The Pakistan cricket board said he has no desire or intention to play international cricket, and as such, he should not be considered for future international matches. This is a personal decision of Mohammed Amir, which PCB respects, and as such will not make any further comment on the matter at this stage. Poignantly, the PCB did not thank him for his for playing for for Pakistan in 36 tests, 61 internationals, and 50 T20s, which shows that their the relationship is not good there. Amir was banned in 2010 for 5 years and jailed for 3 years for spot fixing during a test series in England when he was just 18. But returned back in 2016. But he claims that the two people in the PCB, Najim Sethi and Shahid Afridi, both supported him, but basically the rest of the players and the PCB didn't want him there, and kept making comments and kept, as he says, mentally torturing him, which is why he is now pulled out. In the first test between India and Australia. It's a day-night test over in Adelaide. And at the close of play, India were 233 for 6 in that one. Just try and bring the scorecard up, folks. But my computer is not responding at the moment. Sorry about that. So we'll I think it's coming up now. So in their innings, Virat Kohli, the captain, was the key batsman, reaching 74, ably supported by Cheswar Pujara, who got 43, and Jake Raheen, who scored 42. Aside from that, the other batsmen went relatively cheaply. But once Kohli has gone, it's looking like it's going to be a struggle for India as Australia got into the bowlers now in that innings. In that game. Also, we had the Pakistan Shaheens, or Pakistan A versus New Zealand A in Whangarei for a 4-day game. Pakistan were bowled out for 194 in that one's. Azhar Ali, the only person to really put up any resistance with a 58. Imran Butt and Rahim Nazir both got starts but couldn't go on to post a score. Ed Nuttall with 5 wickets led the bowler, and Nathan Smith also picked up 3 as well. In reply, New Zealand lost Henry Cooper for no runs, and Rachin Ravindra and Ken McClure are in there, and New Zealand's 23 for 1 at the close of play. Well, that's is all our cricket news. So let's move on now to Russia, and Russia has been banned for their ban reduced from 4 years to 2 years, and has also been so Russia has been banned for using its name, flag, and anthem at the next 2 Olympics, or at any World Championships for the next 2 years. The Court of Arbitration of Sports has changed Russia's ban, which was at 4 years, down to 2. So Russian athletes and teams will be allowed to be at the Tokyo Olympics and also the Winter Olympics in Beijing, as well as the Athletics World Championships in and also the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. But they have to be, as long as they're not implicated in doping or covering up any positive tests. Well, I'm not sure how you make sure that people aren't doing that, but there you go. This is down, let's say, from the 4-year ban that was there. There will be Russia can still stay on athletes' vests, but they must have equal prominence with neutral athletes or neutral team, the court said, which seems a bit of a strange one. Also, Russia have to pay WADA $1.27 million as well. This all comes after there was an agreement to give WADA investigators access to the database of testing, which then arrived a month late and had also a whole bunch of pieces removed from it. Oh dear. Bless me. The Australian Open has announced when it will be happening, and after negotiations with the state about obviously coronavirus access and all that sort of things, it's decided that the Australian Open will start 3 weeks later than planned, and will start on February the 8th. The qualifying event will be in Doha from January the 10th to the 13th, allowing the players to fly into Australia and quarantine for 14 days ahead of that. All the other warm-up games will be held within Australia. The traditional warm-up tournaments in New York and here in New Zealand have been cancelled. In the Rugby Awards, I've lost my list of these, but in the Rugby Awards last night, Sam Cane, the All Blacks skipper, was named the player of the year, or the All Blacks player of the year. The national team of the year was Tasman for their back-to-back NPC titles. The New Zealand team of the year was the Black Ferns Sevens, who won the title. Sam Cane also picked up the Kevin R. Tremlin Memorial Player of the Year as well. Some of the other winners include Chelsea Alley, who was the Black Ferns Player of the Year. Stacey Fuller, who was the Black Ferns Sevens Player of the Year. Scott Curry, who was the All Black Sevens Player of the Year. Ash Dixon was the Maori Player of the Year after leading the Maori All Blacks to beat Moana Pacifica and also leading Hawke's Bay to promotion, as well as holding on to the Ranfurly Shield. Richie Mo'unga was the Super Rugby Player of the Year, along with Scott Robinson, who was the Coach of the Year for the Crusaders for Pete. And Kendra Kotzage was the Farah Palmer Cup Player of the Year, and Falau Fakatava the Mitre 10 Cup Player of the Year. Moving on to skiing, and congratulations to the 4 Kiwi athletes who have been invited to the Winter X Games. They are Nico Porteous, Zio Sandowski Synod, Bo James Wells, and Josie Wells, who have got their invites to compete in that in January next year. January, at the end of January, early February next year, in that which is considered to be the top event of for the skiers who take part in the free skiing, the pipe, and jumps as well. So congratulations to those 4, and we'll follow with interest how they go. Today, I'm looking forward to having a chat with a couple of young basketball players who took part in the women's NBL. So look out for those interviews on the channel. Hope you are having a wonderful day, folks. We are very nearly at the weekend. It is nearly here, where hopefully I'll also be getting down to the beach volleyball that is happening in Mount Maunganui, and bring you some coverage of that. So don't forget to follow New Zealand Sports Radio on our Facebook page, as well as subscribing to our podcast so you don't miss any of our shows. And you can also listen to us on the go as you're driving, doing the gardening, or whatever. Thank you so much, folks, and have a great day.